In this video, guys, believe it or not, we're going to talk about trading whilst under quarantine. Stay tuned. Hey traders, warm welcome to you. I can't believe I'm doing this video. Coronavirus rampaging through the world at the moment, right in the thick of it. Mid-March, I'm filming this video, and there's talks of quarantine. In fact, lots of countries are already under quarantine. They're basically locked down in the house and aren't allowed to go out apart from for medical appointments. Some people are allowed to go to the supermarkets, but there's all varying things. But you know what quarantine is, it basically means you're confined to a specific space. So what about if we are trading under quarantine? At this very moment in the UK, we are not under quarantine, but the situation is changing very, very rapidly, and it could, and with hours it could change. Things are just changing. Anyway, so one of the things you've got to watch out for helps to be prepared and planned for every eventuality. Now, quarantine means you're going to be in your house with your family. If you live with a family, whoever you live with, you're all going to be there in one place and you're not allowed to leave. So assume that. Now, you might think, well, hey, that's great because it means I can trade all day long. And those of you who are part-time traders and kind of work might think this is great. Those of you who are full-time traders, you're like, okay, it's my normal day-to-day stuff. But there's going to be some things we're going to watch out for. The first thing is distractions. Obviously, you're going to be there with, if you have a family, your wife, your husband, your children, your roommate, if you're living, you get this idea. They are going to be there with you and it's going to be pretty cozy. Now, obviously, if you're living in a kind of 10-bedroom house and you've all got different areas, it might not be so bad. But for the average person living in a 5-bedroom house, 3-bedroom house, 2-bedroom house, whatever it may be, you're going to all be there. And even if you've got your own little office for trading, there's still going to be distractions. You probably can still hear things going on in other rooms or downstairs or whatever it may be. Or even if you've got a kind of an outbuilding that you've built and you've got an office out there, and many traders who've kind of done that on some land they've built a little outbuilding and they're trading there, you're still going to get distractions. And more distractions than you're used to, because the other people are going to be bored as well. They're going to say, what's going on, what you're doing, what you're doing. And even if you kind of create a strict environment, and kind of something I've talked about before, if you trade from home, is doing that, being very strict about, hey, the sign on the door, don't come in and disturb me. I'm kind of focused on the markets. I have times when if you're kind of at the kitchen, then you're available to chat. If you're in the office, then you're not available. And having those rules and boundaries is fine, but also you've got to respect that, this isn't just you that's under quarantine, everyone else is there as well. But hey, we know this. So distractions, huge thing, guys. Very, very easy to be distracted when there's going to be loads of people potentially in the house with you. And number 2 is exercise and diet. If you're used to going to the gym, used to going swimming, you're used to kind of doing everything right and trying to exercise to neutralize the sitting down all day, that's not going to be so easy. It's going to be inside stuff. So be aware of that negative impact it can have on you. I know from my perspective, if I'm sitting down all day and I don't get a chance to exercise, I've got to be very mindful about when I'm eating. If I'm just watching the markets all day long, I'd be very mindful of this kind of stuff, very mindful to get the blood flowing. I know I'm not as on form if I haven't tried to do a gym might well be out, but maybe you're allowed to go out for a walk. I don't know, if the quarantine's fully, then you might have to kind of maybe invest in a set of dumbbells or some exercise equipment, or go for the Peloton if you fancy doing that. There's all sorts of things that maybe can really help with the exercise part of it, because we forget about things like this. You'll maybe go for a walk before the market opens or whatever it may be, walk down to the local coffee shop, whatever. That's not going to happen, and so it might ruin your routine and it might have an adverse impact on your trading. So be mindful of exercise and diet. Of course, diet, if we've got all the eating long life food, it's probably not going to be as high quality as you're used to and fresh. So I don't know the answer to that one, guys, but just being aware of it. All right, number 3. Emotions. Emotions are going to be heightened. Without a doubt, you're going to be a bit concerned, a bit nervous. What's going to happen next? And that's just from literally a normal life perspective. Now go into trading and you're still going to be concerned, nervous about what's going to happen next. So you get the idea. Emotions are going to be heightened. Emotions as well from being close confined space with other people potentially may mean that your emotions are heightened. So just be aware of that and just be mindful and be very, very, very quick to stop trading if you're feeling angry, frustrated, or even start trading if you're feeling angry, frustrated, all those kind of stuff we talked about many times before. And before overtrading, this will be an overtrader's nightmare because you've got nowhere to go. You're in front of that screen, you want to trade, you want to look at the markets, and you'll think, well, I'm here, I can trade, I can make some money, you know, I can make it worth my while sitting here, and that will be your feeling. But you might slip into overtrading, especially with all the volatility that's happening, especially with all the opportunity. You'll think it's a perfect time to be here in it, and in a way, textbook it is. You're there, you're in front of the screens, you've got the volatility, you've got everything you need on paper. But we know, guys, it's not always about that. It's about picking the spots. You might find days where you don't trade, then you might find a perfect opportunity and trade once or twice, and that could do. You know, you don't have to be trading. There's so much going on. We can just get distracted with all the noise. So be very mindful about overtrading. Number 5 is the news flow overload. Everyone is going to want to watch the news to see what's going on. You're going to want to watch the news to see what's going on. Am I allowed out? What's going on in the world? Because that's going to be your only communication, really, with the outside world, whether you're getting your news from kind of traditional TV media, whether you're getting it from Twitter or social, or you're going to want to have that. And so, you know, you've got to be careful that that's not impacting your trading and in a negative way. The overload of news isn't that great for a trader, but of course, from a kind of human perspective, we want to know what's going on. What's going on in the world? What's the government doing to tackle this? What's going on in other countries? How's it being handled? So we want to be informed, but at the same time, we've got to be mindful that it didn't impact our trading, which is why, you know, there is something to be said for just not getting involved in it at all and just focusing on the job in hand, which is getting through your family through safely. But hey, this is a trading channel, so we're just going to focus for now on, you know, the aspects of trading under quarantine. That has to be said. All right, number 6, balance. This comes in with the exercise theme, the balance. Maybe you've got, you know, you go and see friends normally and you're kind of laughing and joking, it makes you feel good. Maybe you've got some hobby that you normally do. And this keeps us in balance, guys. I mean, we talked about having a balance with trading, not being so focused on trading all the time, having something out of some sort of hobby you do. You're playing table tennis or bowling or movies or going out for drinks with friends or dancing or whatever it may be. You know, we have that balance. Hopefully most of us do have something out of it. That disappears. We don't realize the negative impact that can have on our trading if we're not careful. So be mindful that you're there. It's just you and the screen, locked in that house of yours, and you know, you ain't gonna have any extra things to do apart from within those 4 walls potentially. All right, so seventh and final thing, guys, is watching the markets too much. I'm fully guilty of this anyway, especially at the moment. There's so much going on. I have to be very strict with myself about, hey, just stop watching the futures and make sure you're getting some sleep. And I've kind of been honest about this before, guys. But I love the markets. I love looking at the markets, regardless of the horrible reason the markets are moving. If we put that to one side for the moment, and I'd rather we weren't in this situation, of course. But the markets are moving and I enjoy looking at the markets, as you do. That's why you're watching this video, guys. You're a trader, you're an investor, you're a day trader, you're a swing trader, you're trading FX, you're trading, whatever you're trading, you like trading, you like the markets, you just enjoy the whole thing. That's why we do it. You know, we wouldn't put ourselves through all this if we didn't like the markets. And so it's so tempting to be watching them all the time. You know, you want to see what's happening on this market or that market or the news and stuff, because it's enjoyable, right? We like to see how the markets move. Again, putting the reason they're moving to one side, you know, I don't think that's enjoyable by any stretch of the imagination, of course, but we enjoy markets moving and why they're moving and what's happening, what price levels and new prices, and especially with unprecedented, we're getting really exaggerated moves and limit moves and circuit breakers, and you know, it's interesting from that perspective. And so we can watch these 24 hours if we're not careful. You can be watching this or watching the Asia, and before you know it, you're completely frazzled because all you've got is just markets. And then not only have you not got any energy to give to your family and that kind of stuff who need your support while they're going through this, which is a kind of separate issue, obviously, but you know, you're completely drained from that. But also from the trading perspective, which is what we're focusing on here, you know, you've got no energy left to trade efficiently. You've got no energy to trade effectively. So you've got to be mindful, guys. Now, if we go under quarantine, I know some of you actually already are, and in some countries you actually already are, so maybe you can comment in the comment section below. Under quarantine now? Let me know. Put in the comment section below. How's it going for you? Are you trading through it? Are you kind of just watching, observing? Are you thinking, hey, it's too much to trade and we're under quarantine? I don't blame you. Or have you found a good kind of happy medium, like trading for a couple of hours or watch the market for a few hours. Each person's maybe splitting up time in the house or whatever. I don't know how it's working for you. Let me know. Be super interested. And for the rest of us who aren't there yet, it could be coming, so be prepared. Stay safe, guys. Stay healthy. Keep the risk managed. See you next one. Bye-bye.